And we're back. It's still the first working day of the year. And we want you to start this year right. And so we've put together a series of conversations that will put us in the right frame of mind to be more productive, more successful, happier, healthier in 2019. And one of the areas in which all of us find ourselves involved at one point in life or the other, but are not often prepared to be as successful at it as we could be, is the area of relationships. So for 2019, we want to be better equipped to have healthier relationships, to build and keep better relationships. And we're very excited to have with us our guest to help us navigate this all-important area of endeavor. You know her from the show that is on Joy FM every Saturday morning, Home Affairs, where she's a regular contributor. Today, though, she comes to us to help us understand all the intricacies of relationships. And you know, they are not easy. You need to know exactly what you're doing in order to get the best out of them. So let's say good morning to Auntie Flora Saki. Nice to see you, and thank you so much for making the time to be with us.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Same to you. So, relationships. Nobody is taught how to have a good relationship in school. But we all find ourselves in a relationship at one point or the other, whether it's friendship or courtship or even marriage. So in 2019, many people are going to meet each other for the first time this year and become friends, or perhaps even get married or go into courtships or relationships. Are there some general rules, or do you just do things on a case-by-case basis? If you want to build a friendship from the beginning and you want it to last, are there certain things you ought to do from the beginning or look out for from the beginning to achieve this?
Yes, I think we're naturally born to relate to people. Right from the day we are born, relate to parents, siblings, if there are any, or other, extended family relations. Then we go to school where we have, we also relate to people of, before our teen years, the same-sex really play together, like boys and boys, girls and girls. And when we get to our teen age years, sexual instincts begin to develop. There's a tendency to pay attention to the opposite sex. So girls and boys start, girls are looking for intimacy. Women were made for love, for relationship. Boys are looking for conquest. And so there's a progression towards each other. Then some of these relationships may or may not end in marriage, but we also meet people at work. So relationship is something that we all need from day one. Day we are born, today we die. And it's important that we, have some guidelines. We over the years, we just bump into people, we're attracted by one thing or the other. For us women, it can be the attraction to the name. If you have meet a man who has an English-sounding name,
really,
you want to belong to him. You want to be. You are Mr. Jansen.
That's right.
That's a nice.
Oh, really?
Some English name. Somebody will get attracted just because of the name.
Oh, wow! I didn't realize I was sitting on an asset like that. Wow.
Then we will also be attracted to maybe their looks, and then something they do that we cannot do. We are all born as individuals. We all have, but people are classified into personality types, and people get attracted to their opposites. For instance, if you are a quiet person and you see somebody who is lively, friendly, sociable, able to express themselves, you get attracted, you admire the person. Normally, we admire people who are able to do some things that we are not so good at. The way they talk, the way they manage issues. And I say, I wish I could behave like this person. So sometimes these attractions, these traits bring us together, and they may or may not end in marriage. So in a lot of cases, you find people marrying their opposites. So we may get attracted to somebody because of their personality. But there are certain things that we have in place as we grow. Usually when we are thinking about friendship that will end in marriage, or we are courting, or we are married. We look for things about the other person. I want a man who is or who has that, and that. I want a woman who is this, who has that. But we also look at ourselves first. What type of foundation material are you? One of my pastors many years ago in Ghana, people are penalized for using not having roadworthy certificates, but our roads car worthy. So I ask, are you marriage worthy? Before you look at the other person, what about yourself? If you are looking for a good man or a good woman to marry, you must also prepare yourself for that person. So who are you as a person? What is your disposition? Are you loving? Can you keep, relationships? There are some people who cannot maintain relationships. They tend to, tread on toes easily, so people avoid them. How do people feel in your presence? Are they encouraged? Are their spirits lifted up? Do they want to crave for your presence? Or when people see you, they dodge. People try to, vamoose, run away because of the way you handle them. So we need to have at least three things: maturity, sensitivity, and sacrifice. Well, when you are entering a relationship you hope to last, you must be mature. A mature person is a selfless person. A mature person says that, well, I'm in a relationship with somebody, another person, or I'm married to another person who is equally important as I am. So it's not like it is what I want, what I think, what I feel. Like somebody says, me, and myself. And the one expert said that if you want to be happy, don't marry.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah, but if you want to make another person happy, then marry. If you want to please yourself, all the time, then don't go and worry somebody's son or daughter. Keep to yourself. Because in marriage, you realize that you have fused your life, or you're about to fuse your life with somebody who is equally important as you. That person has needs, that person has interests, that person has preferences, choices, and all these things might be taken into consideration. So if you relate to somebody and everything is just you, the relationship won't work. That's you are immature. An immature person is selfish, self-centered, and always thinking of themselves.
You said something interesting about if you want to please yourself, don't marry. If you want to please someone else, then marry. Are women told this as well? Because it appears that there is a certain tradition or expectation that in relationships and in marriage, if you want peace, make the woman happy. And women expect this, that you ought to tender to their emotional, physical needs. Do women at any point also feel that it is their it is as big a responsibility for them to make men happy as it is on men to make women happy?
Actually, a woman was made to make other people happy. Our grandmothers and our mothers, generations before us, everything was, what do I do to make my husband happy? What do I do to make him feel good and all that? And I think it's over the years, our daughters and our granddaughters see that their mothers and their grandmothers were taken advantage of, and they won't, they won't take that.
Yeah.
So that's why they become, aggressive, and they always want their right and all that. And I think it's more education, and people also attribute that to more women being in the workforce. My grandmothers and those women of those ages, the 60s, 50s, 70s, many of them were what we called housewives. They worked at home or they stayed at home. The man worked and brought. So there wasn't too much interaction. This time, even those who are not, necessarily educated, they still go out. You have the fisher women, those who go to the hinterlands to buy food items and come and sell. They meet people. And so it's not that I'm just at home alone. So if you don't make them happy, they have other people to make them happy, unfortunately. So we are all made to, a woman's, actually innate, trait is that she should make a man happy. But it's just that in this generation, it's like there's that competitive, kind of disposition. If you don't do yours, I won't do. If my husband doesn't love me, I won't respect him. And the man will also say, if she doesn't respect me, I won't love her. But it takes one person to be like a fool. Our mothers and grandmothers days, even our day when we were going to marriage, they told us that, you know, marriage may not be perfect at the beginning, may not be what you like, but you work at it and improve it. But this time, it's like people don't have the patience, the long suffering to wait until things change. So when they see one or two things they don't like, then they opt out. You want to get divorced, because divorce doesn't have the stigma it used to have in generations before now. So
is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, this evolution of relationships.
So that's why the relationship don't last these days. If it was good, it would make relationships longer. You know, to meet somebody who has married twice, 3 times is normal now. In previous generation, it wasn't. If you even, you know, divorced once and you are not even the one who wanted it. You know, in cases, we used to make a sweeping statement like, if I divorced, you are divorced, you are a negative person and all. But if you look at the situations, you know, critical, you realize that maybe I'm not ready for, I didn't want the divorce, my husband wants it badly, what do I do? So I'm a victim. So it's not everybody who is divorced that wanted it. Maybe it's the other person who wanted it badly.
But so doesn't that mean that the stigma that used to come with divorce was rather a negative thing? And now that there isn't a stigma, isn't that an improvement?
I feel happier. I'm not happier. Sometimes you get what you want, but at the end of it, you're not happy anyway. As one author says, you never meet somebody who say, like, come, let me tell you about my divorce. So exciting. Nobody will say that. Even if they wanted it and had it anyway, they still have some misgivings.
So now that, I mean, these roles are evolving the way you describe. You know, the world is changing. Women are out in the workplace. There are options. You know, there are options, and you know, you need to do more to make a woman happy. That's just how it is now. Now that evolution is occurring, do you think then that perhaps it's better that fewer people get married? Is marriage now? Should it now have a tighter qualification criteria, if you like? Should it be for the elite, those who are willing to sacrifice ultimately and keep at it for the duration of a marriage? Should fewer people get married today?
I think marriage is a good thing, and a good marriage adds a lot to your life. It hasn't changed. It's just that we people have changed. And taking to the other side doesn't even help. And generally, personally, I believe that you don't look to a husband or wife to make you happy. To make you happy. Learn to make yourself happy. And the thing is that marriage was made by our Creator. God initiated marriage. And He has a manual for a good marriage. Sometimes I'm surprised that when we buy electrical or, you know, electronic objects, we are prepared to go with the manual that the manufacturer has given. But when it comes to marriage, we want to have our way. The thing is that happiness, true happiness and true joy, does not come from any human being. It comes from a relationship with God. But John 14:27 says, Jesus says, my peace I give to you, my peace I leave with you. Not as the world gives, give I to you. There's a human, you know, there's a vacuum in every human heart. The place where Christ should be, you know, resident. If as long as He's not there, no matter what we try to put in there, it will not make. In fact, sometimes we put, you know, we burden our spouses for things they were not created to do. A husband was not created to make a woman happy deep inside. No matter, even the best of husbands cannot fill that void inside unless God Himself comes to live. So when a person has a relationship with God, then that void is filled by Him. Otherwise, after you live together for some time, then you begin to, you know, even though I've married, I'm still not happy. So it's my husband who is not making me happy, my wife who is not making me happy. Let me boot her out of my life, then I'll be happy. And you find people marrying 3 times, 4 times, and they are still not happy. Because no man or woman was made to fill that void in our lives. And as long as the God who made us is not resident in us, we'll still be looking for You know, I used to be a French teacher, and one time in the 80s, we had a French teachers conference, and the number of Frenchmen who commit suicide every year was very, very big.
Yeah.
Very big. And even, and there were not people who didn't know where the next meal was coming from. They were millionaires, billionaires who had made money. And because they had no relationship with Christ, in fact, a lot of them became atheists because of the world war. They saw the sufferings, the killing of people and all that, and they blamed God for that. So a lot of them became atheists and agnostics, leaving God out. And you can't be rebellious against God and have peace. It's something that nobody can give you in this world. So sometimes the reason why we become dissatisfied with our own marriages or with our spouses is that we are looking up to them. We are looking up to them for things they were not created to give us. So if we settle our relationship with God first, and I can say that from experience, because I've known the Lord personally for over 40 years. And I realized that aside from that, nobody or nothing, no situation can give you. So as long as we leave him out, we'll always be looking for a better husband, a better wife, better work, better situation, better this, better government, but everything, but we'll not get it from any human being.
Well, I mean, it sounds like from what you're saying that you perhaps are answering my question by saying, yes, fewer people should get married. Because let's be honest, not everybody has a healthy relationship with God. I mean, there are many people who call themselves Christians, but we are aware through their deeds that not many have that relationship with God that they should have. So perhaps not many should get married.
No, the relationship with God is not something you buy. It's free. But anybody can come to God, come to Christ, and he'll give you the grace for the marriage. And we also looking for, the expectations of each other are too much. You know, something beyond human age. And as I was saying earlier on, we look at what the other person should do or can give, and we keep ourselves out. Marriage is made up of two people. It's a two-way thing. Everybody has a contribution to make. When we go into marriage, we go with our background. You know, we go with our personality, we go with our gender. And there's a role to play. There's a role a husband has in the marriage. There's a role a wife has. And when you look at it critically, you realize that God in his wisdom made it such a way that our role meets the deep emotional needs of the other person. So a man's deep emotional need is to be respected, to be admired, to be looked up to allowed to lead and all that. And so God says, woman, submit. When a woman submits to her husband, it doesn't mean that she's a second-rate citizen or she's a carpet to walk on and all that. She's not the scum of the earth. It just simply meets the emotional need of the man. So if you have married a man you really love, you wouldn't mind doing that. And a woman's greatest emotional need is to be loved. Loved is not sex or romance aside. It's part of it though. But when a woman is not happy in her marriage, she doesn't, value sex. Amen.
So, truth.
Yeah, so for her, love means that you make me feel needed. You make me feel that you cherish me, and one of the symbols of love to us is that you listen. Talking is part of the makeup of a woman. We're made to talk. We talk when we are happy. We talk when we are mad. And so it's a good listener. So sometimes a man may live with you and then he doesn't even know where you are. They don't talk to you. In fact, sometimes the people we call cholerics, these are the senior prefect type of people, very aggressive, bossy, but always working. Their whole life is focused on work, so they don't have any time to listen to you. So you need somebody who will listen. And when you listen to a woman, she sees that as love. Sometimes these people I'm trying to describe, what they see as talking is instructions. Go to the pharmacy, buy this, go and pay the bill here, go and do that. But the one wants to talk and bring out what's inside her. She wants to share her emotions. She wants to share her feelings. Men live on the logic level. We live on the emotional level. So we want to talk. And sometimes the things that matter to us are little things. One time a woman came to me crying. I was asked to counsel her. What was it? She said, she put on a new dress and her husband didn't say anything. I said, no, to your papa.
Wallahi.
So there are little things that, you know, but if a woman comes from a background where, you know, birthdays are important. You forget her birthday or her child's birthday, it's like you don't love her.
Which woman doesn't come from that background?
Oh, some people don't really mind.
Really?
Maybe I'm talking from my age.
I haven't met them.
Maybe you could be my grandson too.
Possibly, yes. But it would appear that in modern relationships, it's one of the biggest offenses you could commit. And I mean, we're starting a new year. You know, it's one of those things that will come up, the birthdays, the anniversaries, you know, the significant dates, which it appears that if one partner forgets them, then you are basically sending the strongest possible message that you don't care. You know, but is that an exaggeration of reality, or is that really the case?
For us women, it's like action speaks louder than words. So it's like, if you forget my birthday, it means that you're not thinking of me. I don't matter to you. You see. So, for instance, me, I like chocolate. So
the confessions are coming.
If my husband comes from, he's dead though, but if my husband comes from work and it brings me, you know, a packet of chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so much the chocolate that is, but the chocolate is sending me a message. He has brought it to you because he's been thinking of you all day, at least some part of the day, and that makes a woman's day. You know, it's like if you don't say anything, do anything personal, you know, it's like you are not thinking of me, I don't matter to you and all that, and that's a problem for her. Sometimes you are not sure. You're not sure whether you are loved or, you know. The thing is that we all see life differently. So what a woman they interpret as love may be different from, you know, a man interpretation.
So, somebody described to me the difference between how a man expresses love and how a woman expresses it.
Yeah.
And they used this analogy. They said that for a woman, love is pay as you go. So every day you have to do something to demonstrate that you love her. For a man, love is like a contract line. So he married you. And the fact that he married you is proof that he loves you, and that proof must endure forever. But but with a woman, you have to sort of
a woman, you know, she wants, you know, a woman is a wordy person. Words mean a lot to a woman. So even no matter how long you've been married together, she want to hear "I love you, I love you, I love you" all the time, even if it's a lie. But a man, I remember a story. A woman complained to her pastor that for a long time the man had not expressed any love, and the man was shocked. He said, "Kathy, 27 years ago when I married you, I told you I loved you. If I change my mind, you'll be the first person to know." I haven't said anything, so I haven't changed my mind. But for 27 years, not to say I love you or do it by way of action.
You mean the contract is still valid?
Marriage is a covenant, not a contract.
I like that.
So we need to understand each other. So understanding comes in commitment. Sometimes, well, for my fellow women, commitment is not a feeling. Sometimes we want to feel, and you know, when you marry and live together for a long time, things happen. Things around you change, you grow to that the children may come in and may attract attention. The work you may grow, but even when you progress at work, means that there will be more demands on you and all those things. So we may not be as petty as you know, flimsy as when we first got married. Then in your midlife years, midlife crisis and all those things coming. So things change. So whether we feel or don't feel, it's a commitment. The thing is that if I have to do something for you today, I have to do it whether I feel like it or not, because I'm committed. And that's what marriage is about. It's commitment, not so much based on feelings. So people live together for some time, and when they begin to feel, you know, the marriage becomes stale and they don't feel that initial excitement, it means that there's no love anymore, so we should quit. No.
Let's talk about money, because that obviously has quite an impact on relationships. And we're starting a new year. People are setting resolutions, you know, for their finances and what they want to achieve, the goals they want to achieve, how much they want to save and all that. Should you set financial goals for your relationship as well at the beginning of a new year?
For a relationship, I mean, premarital or inside marriage?
Either. I mean, whether in a marriage or if you're courting. I mean, are there circumstances in which you must factor in some financial planning into your relationships?
I think so, especially if you are married. You need to, and because, you know, absence of money can bring conflict. And also, sometimes there are things that happen we didn't plan for. So there should be some saving, there should be some investment somewhere, however difficult, so that in case the unexpected happens, there will be something. And if you live with a woman, I think financial security is an important thing to hear, because we think that if something happens and there's no money, what are we going to do? And then we tend also to think of what other people think of us. So if you don't save for the school fees and our children are sent home, do you know that the neighbors will be, you know, laughing at us, perceived or real, whichever you. So it gives more security, and it also gives, you know, more trust. Yes. It's important that we plan and know what we want to do, and then also we need to. Sometimes women also need to be considerate. Sometimes we compare our husbands to their friends, their colleagues, their, you know, siblings, your own family and all that. We should take a husband as we are all individuals. A man may not be having too much money or even not enough money now, but it doesn't mean that you'll be like this forever. Things may happen and things may change.
I notice, and I don't know if it's a generational thing, but very often when there's a conversation about finances in a relationship, the focus is on the man. Is that just how it should be? Is that because that's the correct way of doing things? Or have we sort of all worked ourselves into a certain expectation? What is the right way in which, you know, finances ought to apply in a marriage?
Actually, when God made marriage, He gave each person a role and a need to meet. And the man's role is, first and foremost, is the visionary or the leader of the family. He's also the teacher and cultivator. He has to set principle guidelines, how to, you know, run the family. And then he's also the provider and the protector. So we came to meet our parents, our grandparents, the men fending for the home. But things have changed. And in most homes, one salary is not enough to, you know, meet all the financial needs. So the women also have to work. Sometimes, in some cases, it's found that the woman may earn more. She may not even be more educated. Those who do business, you know, they make a lot of money than those who are in the, you know, the civil service and other areas. So the woman may earn more. And sometimes when the woman earns more, makes the men feel jittery. And sometimes, in some cases, they have a cause, because when a woman has a lot of money, often submission becomes difficult.
Why? Why is that? I mean, why should submission be based on money? Who has more money?
I'm not saying it's right, but it's what happens on the ground.
So perhaps you can help us understand, even though it's not right, help us understand why that tends to happen. Why do some women tend to find it difficult to, as you describe it, submit when they earn more? What is it? What's the mental process that leads them to find it difficult?
Sometimes it's the influence of friends, or it makes them think that I'm doing the man's work.
Right.
Or because it's a natural disposition and it's not right. Yeah, so that's why you need to choose well. Take time and choose well. If you are going into a marriage where, you know, the man, you are maybe higher educated, more highly educated, or by your vocation or work, you earn more, and you know that that is the case, you need to know that you have to submit to the man. Whoever he is, you have to submit to him. So you better choose right at the beginning that can I submit to this man, you know. And then things happen that we don't plan for. Sometimes, I know of a case where the man was very wealthy, but as soon as they got married, the man became bankrupt. You know, in fact, you need to know that when we say at the altar that for better, for worse, for some people, the reality is the worst thing. So you may marry a rich man who may become a poor man in the course of may become sick or something, and Because if you made a vow, it's a vow, it's a commitment, and it's a covenant, and you don't break it. So.
Somebody made an observation, and again, I wonder if it's a generational thing. On social media, a lot of New Year resolutions were flying around. People were posting there, and there was this very funny comment that a lot of people posted, and I noticed the ones I saw were all women. And they all said something like, I lost a lot of friends and money in 2018. In 2019, I want the money back. All right, so not the friends, they want the money back. And then there were some groups. I'm on a group where somebody asked the question, what is better than love? And many people answered money, and they were all women. You talked about how the woman's emotional need is to be loved. Is that evolving? Is it turning more and more into a need to be financially or materially fulfilled?
I think our values have changed, and it's not helping us. So women will make money at all costs. And because society's value of, our principles and our values have changed, we, laud people who have money regardless of how they got the money. When we were younger, it was not so. People were valued for their principles, the work they do, and people were valued for how they helped others, not so much the bank account. I think I was listening to President Bush when his father died, and was saying that his father taught them that filling your son's bank account with money is not the thing, the value. That is not of value. It's rather teaching him to make his community or his family better than he came to meet it. How he will be remembered for what he did for other people, and not so much accruing money.
Yeah.
Because when I was in Lagos, we were using Asanka and before a student gets into the, she wants even to own a car. She wants to know all the things that maybe her mother was able to own when she was about 50 years plus. And our values have changed, and we realize that because of that, we are selling our conscience, we are selling our values, and it's not making us any happier. You have women who say that they can have children, all they want is just children, the men can go, but it's not so. If you're a woman raising a son in his teen, you realize that you can't do that alone. You need the father around. And our values have changed, and it's not helping us. It's not helping. It's part of the body. When you meet some of those people in private, rather they are the most miserable. And a woman we are made for relationship, for marriage, and all that. So somebody accrues all that money, and at night she's weeping in her bed because there's nobody aside from, in spite of all that money, who is in her life. Who you want to, as a woman, you need somebody you can share your thoughts, you share your feelings, things that are dear to you. And if they get all the money and there's nobody to, a lot of them sometimes they even
feel free. We're being very honest and
some
factual
of the things they do in secret is just
amazing.
It's a facade. They are not really happy people. Those who live for money, they are not happy people.
Wow. Well, I want to bring you in on the conversation. This is getting fascinating, so it's about time we heard your voice as well. 0302 211 691 or 692. Okay, so 0302 211 691 or 692. Give us a call. Let's talk. Let's. If you have any questions for Auntie Flora, please give us a call. She'll answer all that she can for us today. We're talking about this changing or evolving of values, but if you take the time to speak to some of these women who are now prioritizing material things over love, they'll tell you it's because of how men are today. It's because of how men are failing to fulfill that need for love by being, unfaithful, by not being ambitious, or not, like you described, not making their family better than they came to meet it, And because perhaps men are failing in meeting their side of the bargain, women are thinking, okay, then I need to get something out of this relationship. I might as well The only thing he seems to have is money. So why don't we make it a transaction rather than a relationship? Perhaps we can take a call and we'll talk more about this later. So Eunice Ajiman is in Domahinkru. Eunice, Happy New Year to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for calling us. So what's your question?
Good morning. The same to you.
Good. Eunice, just listen to us on the phone, okay? Not on the TV, because there's a delay.
Okay.
So, yeah, just listen to my voice on the phone and answer the phone. So, what is your question for Auntie Flora?
I'm happy with your conversation with Madam Settle.
That's very good. Do you have any question, or is there a particular thing you are happy about?
Some men, you sacrifice for them. I see they don't value you. What should we do? No money, not anything, but you sacrifice for them. But what should we do?
Is that a personal experience? Have you found yourself sacrificing in certain ways for men?
This is not the first time, twice.
Can you tell us about it? What can you tell us? Hello, Eunice?
Hello.
Yes. Is there any part of it that you can share with us about the sacrifices you've made?
The relationship, you don't ask of money. You be with the man, you be the person will be taking care of you. The later on, the person will not call you, do anything to you. You ask the person, what have you done to him? The person will tell you it's not done anything. First, the caring that he was caring for you has to reduce. So that one.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Okay, we'll get you an answer from Auntie in a moment. Let's take one more call and then Auntie can have 2 questions to answer. Humble in Tiamwa is in Bechem. Humble, Happy New Year to you.
Many, many happy weekends.
Thanks for calling us. So, what's your question? Humble?
Yes.
Yes, just listen, forget about the TV. In fact, lower the volume on the TV if you can. Just speak to me on the phone.
Okay,
what's your question? You're still watching the TV, Humble. Lower the TV, okay? Listen to me on the phone. Right, I think we've lost Humble there. And this is for all of you, okay? When you call, switch off the volume on the TV. There's a delay. You see, so you'll hear my voice on the phone first before you hear it on the TV. If you're waiting for the TV, you leave a silent gap. So forget about the TV. Just listen to me on the phone. Answer me when you hear what I say on the phone, okay? Call us. You know the numbers. Let's talk about how to have healthy relationships in 2019. So yes, this thing about men not living up to their side of the bargain, is that also perhaps a contributory factor?
Yes, sometimes, there are bad men, there are good men also. Sometimes because women are eager to marry, we are more eager in the relationship than the men, we don't take our time sometimes. You need to take time to study the man and then, gradually go into him. But sometimes a woman meets a man and one day she everything. And some men, when they see that you are 2 of those shots, how do I even put it? You are too eager, it puts them off. They fear that you control them. So you need to take time. That's why we have friendship, where you relate to each other as brother and sister. And then when there's a proposal and the man makes up his mind that, well, I want to settle with you, live with you for the rest of my life, and he makes a proposal and there's a positive answer, then you start a courtship. And courtship, it's also a time to study the individual. In fact, during friendship, you can relate to one or more men, but no sexual relationship, just like brother and sister. But then one will propose, and then you answer or respond. And then when you settle on one man and one woman, you need to know each other better. How does the man relate to people? Is it one person? Is he somebody that attracts people or repels people? how does he behave when he's angry? Is he greedy? Is he, sacrificial? Is he selfish and all that? Is he loving? And all those things. Is he sensitive? A woman, you need a man who is sensitive also, who can read between the lines. If you go in for a man who just provides money, know that other women are also there eyeing him, and then he may not have all the attention for you. So we need to study people, and then before we put in our all.
It sounds like that would also be useful for Eunice and her question about why men sometimes change their behavior.
Sometimes when they see you are too eager, it puts them off.
Yeah. All right. We also have Patrick Darko on the line from Kumasi. Patrick, good morning. Happy New Year. Hi, Patrick. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There you are. Happy New Year to you. What's your question?
Happy New Year to you, Kojo.
Same to you, Patrick. What's your question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask. Yeah, I wanted to ask whether it is possible to love without money.
It's possible to have love without money.
Without money.
Okay, good question. Let's take another question, and this is from London. Auntie Mary is calling us. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Auntie Mary.
Good morning. Happy New Year too. Yeah, I've been following your program every morning, and
thank you.
I just want to ask, Auntie, I've been married for about 20 years now, and I've realized that I'm not happy. But for 20 years, I cannot just leave because I felt my husband is the kind of person that he's very slow to take steps. He's a very hardworking man, but he's very slow to take steps, And I felt because of his way of doing things, I've been delayed so much, in achieving my dreams, sort of, And because of that, it's not making me happy with him, and which has also affected my sexual life with him. I'm not so happy anytime he wants to, I'm not so happy about that. For 20 years, I don't want to just leave the marriage with 2 children, So in this case, what should I do? Because the longer I stay with him, I'm not happy, and I cannot just live for 20 years, and I'm not getting younger.
Yeah.
And another question, but I watched your program yesterday, Kojo,
Yes.
and the lady that was on for, I think, career life coach.
Yes.
Yeah, you promised to leave her email. I tried to get an email, I couldn't get through to the email. So if you can put it on I'm watching you live now. If you can put it on,
we'll put it on the screen for you.
Email.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen for you.
Auntie Flora or Sam, if you can leave her details too, in case somebody wants to talk to her. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll
Although
make
we
sure
are far away,
those.
but there's a lot of pressure on us, so we need people like this to talk to back at home.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Thank you, Auntie Mary, and thank you for watching us all the time. Let's get you some answers. Very interesting situation there. So our first question is it possible to have love without money? And then Auntie Mary's question about what to do after 20 years of marriage. She's unhappy because her husband's slow progress in getting things done has interfered with her dreams and aspirations.
We can love without money. There are people, I'm sure there are a lot of women there out there who have married men who practically give them nothing, but yet they love them. So what a woman is looking for first and foremost is not money. It's love. Somebody who accepts you as you are, makes you feel that you are important. But for love for a woman means that you make me feel that I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. The sweet little things like I love you, and you can just share. Because talking is part of it. I want to share. But some people, you can't even talk to them. And do you think because the men are not, fulfilling this area of a need for love and affection, we think that it's money. It's not money. You can have money and all that thing. I think I heard opinion for you, Chire one time saying that when you marry, the type of man you marry, may also dictate the type of the happiness or whatever. Because if you marry a professional, like a doctor or somebody, he may leave you in the night one day if he's on night duty. But you may never, have time to talk together because he's always busy and other people, business people and all. But if you marry a teacher, the teacher may not give you
He closes at 3.
Too much money, but it's always there. It's always there. You can eat together in the same plate. I used to be a teacher, and by 3 o'clock, at longest time you spend in school is 3 by 3 p.m. By 2:30 you are, and that means that you don't teach the whole all the in the hours. So I think I remember on Friday, the last time my last year in the classroom, the first 2 periods on Friday, by 8:30 I'd finished for the day.
Wow.
So if you're a man, you have time for the house. We don't give money, but at least we are there.
Yeah. Wow, that's wonderful. But do you think a lack of money can also affect a man's ability to love? You know, if you are facing financial difficulty, your wife seems to still love you, but you are conscious of the fact that you are not able to provide the way you should. It might make you start feeling insecure, wondering whether someone else might, you know.
Oh, it depends on the woman. Obviously, you affect your self-esteem and all that. But if you realize that your woman is somebody who is accepting, takes you as you are, sometimes the woman may even buy things for you. Maybe deep inside, you may not feel that you are a complete man, but it's up to the woman to make you feel relaxed.
Okay. Now we have another caller, but I want you to quickly address Auntie Mary. We'll give her your details as well for further conversation. But any quick advice for her?
The thing is that we always, no two people are alike. So, and the men and women are different people. We are very, very different physically, emotionally, psychologically, and all that. So, if you marry a man, there's so many ways he'll be different from you. And sometimes you want things to happen fast, but he's a slow person, like that, this temperament thing.
Yeah.
But probably the man is a phlegmatic and she's a choleric, somebody who has plans, ideas, things too. So, sometimes marriage is give and take. You may not have things the way you want, but you can focus on other strengths that he has, and that will, you know, help you relax. And as you pray, the happiness. As I said earlier, if you look to a husband or a wife to make you happy, it doesn't always work.
Yeah. Okay. We will make sure that your details are given to those who want to have deeper conversations about some of these things. And to Mary, it sounds like after 20 years, she really could do with some help. Jerry Jojo is in Ho. Jerry, good morning and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to me and Happy New Year to our madam. And thank you for the opportunity. I have a question that is quite contradiction. Myself, I'm a choleric and my wife is choleric. You know the verse, because we always cry. So I want to know, what do I do in this new year? That is my new year resolution.
Okay.
Then, I have a problem that is happening in our society. I know in the past when you find a lady or you find a man, I know, especially if you want to start counseling, you have to go to do their affairs, you know, those things. But I realize this is missing, and it's causing a lot of harm. So what do we do with that?
I'll ask you to repeat that question. Your line is not very clear. You're saying that...
What I have realized is happening in our society is when you find a woman or a man that you want to marry. Yeah. We don't go for sex. We don't go and to be sure if the man or the woman is safe. We just jump into it. So what can we do to affect? What can we do to change the sex?
Okay, did you hear the question? It's so hard, Jerry, to hear what you're saying. Before you go into marriage...
Let me try the last time. I said it.
Yes.
Is this when you find a man or a woman that you want to maybe settle down with?
Yes.
I know in the past they asked you to go and do sex. And to be sure if the man or the woman is safe. And this is, I realized...
To do tests to make sure the man or woman is what?
Is like healthy.
Healthy. Okay.
Yeah, whether HIV or whether...
Okay. Understood. Yes.
But this is, the trend is, getting back. I know the angle I'm coming from. I there's this scenario that the man is HIV, that the woman is not aware.
Okay.
That they are going up. Which I know they have, sorry to say, I've done now married people, So now what do we do to affect the trend?
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, I get the question now. So Jerry is saying that in the past it was more common that people would test, you know, before they get involved, especially if it's leading to marriage. He says these days he doesn't see much of it, and as a result, he is personally aware of a situation where there's a man with HIV who's dating a woman, whether it's aiming towards marriage or not, I'm not sure, but they're basically having sexual relations, in spite of the fact that the man is HIV positive and the woman doesn't know. So he's wondering what can be done to buck this trend, you know, and get people to be more, I guess, careful and actually do testing as he perceives it used to happen more in the past.
I think what he's saying is a good thing and it's right. And the people are not patient these days to wait and go through, take time. In the churches, for a lot of churches have counseling facilities. You need to take time, go through the counseling, know the person. The reason for the counseling is that you will know the person better, the one you want to marry, so that you can even make the decision based on, you know, facts, rather than just meeting somebody and then being impressed by the person's, you know, way of talking and all those things. So if you take your time and find out what marriage is all about, how you should prepare, and then some churches allow this testing, like the HIV, sickle cell thing, so that when you go, you are well prepared. So people should take their time. Don't rush into sex, you know, the first thing. And the moment you start sleeping together with a man, a woman, you lose your objectivity. You are not able to really make a good appraisal of what you are getting into. And marriage is not just sex. It's far more than that. So the people should prepare well. I think I agree with him. They should take their time and settle all these things before you make a lifelong commitment.
Indeed, indeed. Wow, well, this has been completely enlightening, very, very useful information to have at the beginning of the year. I've certainly learned a lot. You know, first of all, you can't really expect another person to make you happy. Your relationship with God is the only thing that can give you the peace that you require in order for you to then be happy in a relationship. I've learned that you can have love without money, which is a relief for many people, because the president says we are in difficult times. So yes, you can still have love. And I've also learned that my surname is very attractive. All right, now let me give you that email address, Auntie Mary and all others who want to contact our panelists from yesterday, who taught us about how to set goals and stick to them. That email address is info@branchoutghana.com. info@branchoutghana.com. Her name is Doreen Buffo. She is a career success coach. info@branchoutghana.com. That's yesterday's guest. But today, we've been speaking to Auntie Flora Saki from ICGC Doxa. Is that
Doxa
right?
Temple.
Doxa Temple, yes. So go there on Sunday if you want more information.
Estate.
Yes, they are in Yaneba Estate, and Auntie Flora doesn't miss service. So be there and meet with her, say hello to her, and see if you don't pick up a few nuggets of wisdom like we have today. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you.